I'm near the Estrada Nacional número 2. In English, National Road number 2. This is the longest road that crosses the country from north to south, from the Trás-os-Montes region, the city of Chaves, to Algarve region, the city of Faro. This road has 738 kilometers. It's the third longest road in the world. Across this road, you can find many marvelous places with lots of history, traditions and culture, Portuguese culture. This road crosses the country as a spinal cord. This is a must for anyone that likes to drive, to bike, and even going by foot. I can promise you that you will find many places, many places where you can eat, drink, and rest. In these places, you will be very well treated by marvelous people, and you can even ask in one of these places for your passport, where you can register your travel. I'm now here on another part of this road, the Estrada Nacional número 2. This is the passport that I told you, and I got already my stamp of this village here, so you can fill the passport. This is a guide that I got as well, explaining more or less all the places that you can visit with many and valuable information. And the reason that I'm talking about this is because of this. You see, this is the national road number 2 that crosses the country from north to south. And why I'm showing this? Because we will talk about cheese, Portuguese cheese, and in fact I will present many cheeses from north to south, and I found that this was a good connection to show that the country is crossed by this national number 2 as it is shown here. Hi! Today I will not bring you, as usual, a traditional Portuguese recipe. I've decided to bring you, in fact, a very tiny parcel of the huge offer that Portugal has to give you regarding cheeses. All these cheeses are matured and made with goat, sheep, and or cow milks, mixed in different proportions or simple from the milk of a single ruminant animal type. From our two autonomous regions, Azores and Madeira Islands, I have only cheese from Azores represented, because Madeira is mostly known by producing fresh and cream cheese from cow milk, queijo fresco e requeijão, which I cannot have here. These are the 7 Portuguese cheeses that I would like to present you. First, São Jorge cheese with 12-month cure from the São Jorge Island in Azores. Second, Serra da Estrela cheese coming from the center region of Portugal. Third, Ceia cheese coming as well from the center region of Portugal. Fourth, picante da Beira Baixa, from, as well, the center region of Portugal. Fifth, azeitão cheese, from the region of Lisbon and Tagus Valley. Sixth, Nisa cheese, from the Alentejo region. Seventh, Serpa cheese, as well from the Alentejo region. So many others could be included in this list. Maybe a second, a third, who will know, can come in a later edition. I would like to present you this fabulous book written by one of the greatest chefs in Portugal, named Diogo Rocha, with photos from Mário Ambrosio. This book is named Queijaria do Chef. In English, we can say that is a chef cheese selection, and a very good one. I really advise you this book because there is an English version exactly the same, and I would like to tell you that most of the evaluations or descriptions that I will do about the cheeses that I brought you here are coming from this book, so from Diogo Rocha. Obrigado, Diogo. Thank you, Diogo. São Jorge cheese. This cheese is produced from 100% cow raw milk, cured, this one during 12 months, is hard or semi-hard cheese, firm with a yellowish color, strong, and with a slightly spicy taste that intensifies when the curing time is longer. These cheeses vary between 8 and 12 kilos. The evaluation of the São Jorge cheese from our chef Diogo Rocha, and the photo from Mário Ambrosio. Serra da Estrela cheese. I dare to say that this one is one of the Portuguese star cheeses. It is produced from 100% of sheep milk, but only from two specific sheep breeds, Bordaleira da Serra da Estrela and or Churra Montegueira. It's a semi-cured cheese with a semi-soft, buttery and very creamy, unctuous taste. Is white or slightly yellowish tint. Homogeneous paste. The evaluation and the photo from this outstanding cheese, Serra da Estrela. Ceia cheese is produced from 100% of sheep milk, presents a slightly acidic, smooth taste, creamy and unctuous texture paste. Is semi-cured cheese. If this cheese is not consumed immediately, its paste will harden, presenting a more strong flavor, and the consumption will be made by slice. This Ceia cheese is a personal choice. I would not dare that this cheese is like the Serra da Estrela cheese, not at all, but the relation between price and quality, it's a very good one. And Ceia, in fact, it's a city in Serra da Estrela that gives the same name to the cheese. Picante da Beira Baixa cheese is produced from raw milk of sheep or sheep and goat raw milks. The most common breeds used are the sheep Merina and the goat Charnequeira. This is a cured cheese without crust, hard or semi-hard paste, and almost or completely homogeneous paste to present. Presents a whitish or a grayish color, Its aroma is very active and strong and presents an outstanding spicy flavor. The correspondent evaluation of the cheese picante de Barbacha and the photo of this cheese. Azeitão cheese is produced from 100% of sheep raw milk. Is a cured cheese with a semi-soft paste with a buttery texture, white or slightly yellowish in color. Its flavors highlights an acidified, salty and subtle spicy taste. The origin of this cheese finds roots on the Serra da Estrela cheese, making itself distinguished by the different climatic conditions and its pasture. Here, the evaluation of the azeitão cheese with the correspondent photo. Mesa cheese is produced from 100% of sheep raw milk, mainly from the sheep breed called Merina Branca, exclusively bred and raised in the permitted areas. Is a cured cheese with a semi-soft paste with a yellowish white color. Here is the evaluation of the organoleptic properties of the Nisa cheese with the photo. Serpa cheese is produced from 100% of sheep raw milk. Is a cured cheese with a buttery semi-soft taste, almost with an homogeneous texture. Presents an intense flavor and a straw yellow color. It will be one of the few Portuguese cheeses where it is allowed to have such a big difference in its dimensions that it can start at 200 grams and ends at 2.5 kilos. Here, the evaluation of the Serpa cheese with the correspondent photo. This book has as well many marvelous, fantastic recipes using many types of Portuguese cheeses. I will hand this part before presenting the wines going with these fantastic cheeses by the last pictures of the book showing these cheese tables and some goat breeds and até já. Thanks again to our chef Diogo Rocha and our photographer Mario Ambrosio for this contribution with this fantastic book, for everything that it is in it, not only the recipes, the evaluations of the cheeses, but as well for the fantastic pictures going along. Thank you. To go with these cheeses, I propose a good port wine or a good fortified muscatel Portuguese wine. I start by presenting two muscatel wines. One is from the Douro region and is named Muscatel de Favais. This wine is made with the Muscatel Galego Branco grape. Confers a floral aroma and flavor reminiscent of honey and orange. Serve chilled preferably. And another one is from the Peninsula de Setúbal, named Alhambra. Is a fortified wine made with the Muscatel de Setúbal grape variety and aged in oak barrels. Its fruity character molasses with aromas of tropical fruits, differentiating Muscat wines from any other type of wines. Now I will talk about the Portos. Porto is a fortified wine produced exclusively in the Douro Valley region. Porto is a sweet wine. Here I will not talk so much about the organoleptic characteristics of each wine style. I will try to give the different characteristics of the different categories of the Porto wines, mainly regarding the aging. Ruby style Porto. These are wines in which one seeks to sustain the evolution of their red color, more or less intense, and maintain the fruity aroma and vigor of young wines. It's meant to be drunk upon purchase. Ruby is the most widely produced style of Porto and is aged in large barrels known as tonels, if they are laid down, or balseiro, if they are upright. The large barrels prevent the wine from becoming oxidized, so they retain the rich dark red color which is so often associated with the Porto wines. They are meant to be drunk young. They can be quite tannic and give strong notes of fruits. Tawny style Porto. Obtained by blending wines of varying degree of maturity, conducted through aging in casks or vats. These are wines in which the color has evolved and should be integrated into the subclasses of red golden, golden or light golden colors. The aromas are reminiscent of dried fruits and wood. The older the wine is, the more these characteristics become more pronounced. The existing categories are Tawny, Tawny Reserva, Tawny with age indication 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and even 40 years, and Harvest. They are wines from lots of several years except Colheita, which resembles a Tawny with age indication with the same aging time. When they are bottled, they are ready to be consumed. We recommend wines from the Tawny categories with age and harvest indications. White Porto. White Porto wine comes in various styles, namely associated with more or less prolonged periods of aging and different degrees of sweetness, which result from the way in which they are made. Traditional wines were joined by wines with a floral and complex aroma with a minimum alcohol content of 16.5%, giving Porto White Dry, capable of meeting the demand of wines less rich in alcohol. This specific lagrima, meaning tears, style is the first wine must to take from very ripe grapes and therefore much sweeter, running down the walls of the glass as if it were tears. The majority are meant to be drunk young and range from crispy dry wines, perfect to serve with ice and lemon, or chilled. Vintage Porto. Wine of exceptional quality from a single harvest. It must be bottled between the second and the third year after the harvest. Made from the very best grapes of a single year, the declaration of a vintage is a sign of an outstanding harvest. Great vintage can be kept for years, even decades, continue to evolve in the bottle. With exceptional organoleptic characteristics, it must be very full-bodied and red at the time of approval. At 2 years old, with aging in the bottle, it becomes elegant and the initial astringency gradually disappears. Therefore, it acquires a balanced, complex and very distinctive aromas. Vintage with a few years in the bottle are associated with roasting aromas as chocolate, cocoa, coffee, cigar box, etc. Spices aromas, cinnamon, pepper, and sometimes fruity aromas. They form a sediment when they are stored and the bottle should be kept laying down. The bottle should be turned upright 1 day before drinking, decanted 2 hours before serving, and drunk within 2 days of being opened. Not difficult for some people. LBV, late bottled vintage porto. High quality wine from a single harvest. It is bottled between the 4th and the 6th year after harvest. These wines, red in color, have organoleptic characteristics that give them high fineness and distinction. They are full bodied, soft, and have a more or less fruity aroma, which may show some evolution depending on the duration of the aging in wood. They are usually less astringent than the vintage of the same year, being equally harmonious with a softness and elegance more or less marked depending on the style of the producer/brand. LBVs were created in the 1950s as a reaction to an economic crisis which meant that Porto wine producers were left with unsold vintage wines. They allowed the wine to stay in wood for a longer period of 4 to 6 years before bottling and produced the wine with lots of character, normally lighter than the traditional vintages, but in some years we find very good surprises. New trends in port wine. I must say that this can be an horror for purists and conservatives. Its color is pink, with ruby reflections. Its nose offers aromas of red fruits where floral notes are mixed. It develops a light and fruity flavor in the mouth with notes of raspberries, currants, and strawberries. Crush pink can be enjoyed with ice, pure, or in a cocktail by adding, for example, tonic water, a little lemon juice, and some mint leaves. I fully support these new trends because I have the opinion that are the consumers that should drive the, the new concepts as well in the wine world. Just a curiosity, Douro is the first region in the world to be demarcated and regulated and celebrates this year 2021 his 265th anniversary. This has been ordered in 1756 by our Prime Minister Marquês de Pombal. Now it's time for our traditional cheers. I have here a vintage, the same as the Cruz that you have just seen, decanted, and I will pour it very gentle because to avoid that the deposits will go in our glass. I will smell it. The chocolate, the cocoa, oh, and many other ones. Tobacco. The Douro is here in his utmost picture of a great wine. Cheers.